Hey everyone, my name is Levi. I am a maladaptive daydreamer. Today I want to talk about things that isn't really aimed at maladaptive daydreamers, but more to non-maladaptive daydreamers. And that is things never to say to a maladaptive daydreamer or to someone who tells you that they have maladaptive daydreaming. This goes for the average parent, friend, sibling, family, but also to medical and scientific and mental health professionals. So I actually asked on Tumblr for people's input because I do want to hear from other people as well. I don't want to make it just from my point of view. So my question was basically, what is some of the most annoying responses you have received when you've told someone that you have maladaptive daydreaming? And then I also asked, in response to this, what would you like to tell these people to either change their view on maladaptive daydreaming or to sort of help educate them that this is a real and serious condition? So Omega said, "You heard about this online? It may be fake then. You just think you have something. And also, everyone daydreams, it's normal." So they said that this is an approximate translation from French. And they also said that their psychologist said these things to them. Don't get me wrong, she's kind, but when a psychologist tells you that, it kind of hurt. Yeah, I can imagine. You're sort of talking to someone who's supposed to support you in the things that you say. And when you tell them about this thing, they shouldn't be shooting you down or they shouldn't be gatekeeping you at all. They should be listening and saying, okay, I don't know anything about this. Maybe I should go and look into it. Even if it's some fake online illness thing that people created, then at least the psychologist or the therapist knows this. A very interesting thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand about medicine as well is that in medicine, you don't just get your degree or your license and then that's it. You get your degree and your license, and you are required to keep undergoing education and training in certain other aspects of mental health or medicine. Like, research keeps developing, new things keep popping up. It's bizarre that mental health and medical professionals are just like, oh, this isn't a thing. I wish she did some research about maladaptive daydreaming before telling me this. I may be a teenager, but I know that this isn't fake. She just didn't believe me somehow, and that hurt. I wish I could have told her that this was real, that there were studies, or whatever it's called, that there are a lot of people like me. Yes, everyone daydreams, but to the point where I'm frustrated when I can't, where it stops me from doing homework, concentrating in class, then it's not normal. When something becomes disruptive in your life and when it causes distress, then that isn't normal at all. Yes, everyone daydreams, or at least most people in the world daydreams. And it's a normal mental activity. But when it starts to interfere in your life and when it starts to cause distress, then that is a problem. And I mean, this could go for anything, right? Like, let's say someone has an obsession with drinking water. Like, everyone drinks water. There's nothing wrong with water. It's very healthy, in fact. But if you do that way too many times, if you do something too much, then it becomes an issue. If you drink too much water, you're gonna die. That's just how it is. The same with daydreaming. Okay, well, you're not going to die from daydreaming too much. That's a bit extreme, but it is a problem. If you do something an abnormal amount, it needs to be looked into and it needs to be taken seriously, whether it is included in the DSM, whether it's included in official medical journals or anything like that. It's important. Then Adler Moment said, people have, as with every mental disorder, told me to just stop. Ah, yes, my favorite. I hate that. It's impossible to just stop. That actually brings me back to my previous point where I said that, yes, most people daydream. Well, even if you tell someone who daydreams a regular amount to just stop daydreaming, it's probably not going to happen. Like, I'm fairly sure that if someone is distressed by something and it interferes in their lives, then they probably have tried to stop a few times already. I think that's actually part of the criteria as well, the diagnostic criteria or maybe not the diagnostic criteria, but the part of the structured clinical interview for maladaptive daydreaming, where individuals should have probably tried to stop maladaptive daydreaming in the past. So yeah, don't tell people to just stop. They probably have tried already, and that's how they realized that, hey, this is a problem. Then they also said people saying, oh, if you daydream a lot, then you have maladaptive daydreaming. Yes. So this isn't really a reaction to someone telling you that they have maladaptive daydreaming. This is more people who are very creative or have, let's say, immersive daydreaming even, or they daydream a lot, or yeah, they just have active imaginations. They immediately think that they have maladaptive daydreaming. They carried on saying, again, as with every mental disorder, being told to spend less time on the internet because it was clearly just confirmation bias. The problem with, let's say, Twitter, and let's even throw TikTok in there because TikTok is also a pretty big problem with maladaptive daydreaming as well. The problem with people thinking that, hey, I have this disorder or this illness or whatever because someone I follow has it as well, that is problematic, because then you get people who are also online but they truly have this disorder and they know that they have it, but then they are thrown under the bus and they are told that, well, you're part of these people who saw it somewhere and now it's like, oh, I have this too. But I think that this is a big problem, because now you get communities online who do this, and then you get people who are also online and they say that, hey, I have this. I am also online, but I do have this. And then they get told that, yeah, well, you're part of this group of people. And then they said, I have tried to stop many, many times. My mind daydreams on its own without asking first. And by the time I notice it's come back again, I'm tired of trying and let it happen. If you don't understand, telling a person with maladaptive daydreaming to stop daydreaming is like telling a person with depression to cheer up. They might still not get it, because there's definitely an overlap between telling people with maladaptive daydreaming to stop daydreaming and telling depressed people to cheer up. This one is more simple. If it doesn't negatively affect you or your life and you can make the daydreaming stop, then it isn't maladaptive daydreaming. Mental disorders exist outside of the internet, and I didn't know I was gay until I heard about gay people. Also, this has been going on since I was 11. It isn't new. So, everything I just mentioned, they put into perfect wording here, and I couldn't agree more. It's spot on. Telling people to just stop daydreaming is by far the worst advice I have ever heard of. As with depression, it's not like just cheering up. As with anxiety, the thing that I have heard so many times when I tell people that I have severe anxiety, to the point where I get stomach cramps and it feels like my body is turning inside out and I get nosebleeds, people tell me to just not be anxious. Thanks. Why didn't I think of that before? Mental disorders exist outside of the internet as well. But the internet, as they mentioned here, it helps with finding out whether you are something or not. Yeah, there are gonna be people who do want to be part of the cool and hip, trendy new problem that arises. But those people are very few. And even if those people do engage in that sort of behavior, that doesn't invalidate the people who really experience this stuff. The worst response to maladaptive daydreaming that I have ever gotten was from a guy who I met, and his response was, oh, so they call daydreaming a disorder now. Another thing that I also heard was, someone said, it sounds like ADD or ADHD. So while ADD and ADHD are comorbid disorders sort of linked to maladaptive daydreaming, there's still a very big difference between the two. Just because it's a comorbid disorder doesn't mean it's the exact same thing. Saying ADHD is like maladaptive daydreaming is like saying anxiety is like paranoia. Yeah, both are anxiety inducing. When you're paranoid, you are anxious, and when you're anxious, maybe you're a little bit paranoid. But there's a big difference between the two. You just have a powerful imagination. I made a little note here because I was in such a bad mood when I made this list. I said, my imagination is so powerful that it has negative effects on my daily life to such an extent that I believed something was wrong with me before I knew about maladaptive daydreaming. It's an internet disorder. Yeah, there are a lot of mental health and medical professionals who are currently researching this thing. And not only that, there are also a whole community of people who are helping spreading the word, getting the word out there, raising awareness, educating other people. I think this is a real thing. The thing is that if someone says that they feel a certain way and it doesn't necessarily fit with other conditions or illnesses, then maybe it's a new thing that other people haven't maybe been talking about, or that people have been talking about, but it's been under-researched or underlooked at. I mean, there's a whole documentary, a whole medical series out there about people who have illnesses, disorders, and medical issues, which are so rare that people don't even know they exist. But here's the thing though, just because they're rare, does that make them less valid? It doesn't. So anyway, that's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry. I'm not that educated on religion. So whatever you're celebrating, the happy celebrations. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, please take care of yourselves. Make good choices. As always, love you guys.